Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to my second battle of the Smogon World Cup. I, of course, am pokeaimMD, or aim on Smogon, whatever. And my opponent is Teddeh. Teddeh also likes Whitney, so shouts to the double Whitney on the field right now. So my opponent seems to be having a sort of Zard Y balance. Like, immediately at team preview, I assumed it was Zard Y, but it could very well be Zard X, because Zard X fits on those types of teams. The only reason I thought more so towards Zard Y is because he does have Weavile on the team, and Weavile being a nice pursuit trapper for Zard Y, being able to get rid of the Lotties, and Zard is just able to spam its attacks. However, again, going into this game, I didn't know if it was Zard X or Zard Y at first, but I'm leaning towards Zard Y, but I have ways of dealing with both. Zard Y being a little bit tougher, and then Zard X being hippoed. So, my game plan for this game, because my opponent does not have a ghost resist outside of Weavile, is get Weavile to about 50%. That way I can nasty plot up with my Cofagrius and pretty much click Shadow Ball and kill everything. I also need Charizard to be at about 60-70%. So if Stealth Rock are up, then Charizard will go down to a +2 Shadow Ball. I'm using the Jam Special. I like to call it the Jam Special. Blender likes to call the superior one the Jam Special, but I like to call that one Jam Snake. And it's a team that I've used a lot, but it's a really solid team, and I'm very comfortable playing with it, which is why I like to use it, even if my opponent may know it. Jamvad is actually on my opponent's team, but Jamvad is not a snake. He told him, I'm pretty sure Jam told him, you know, that I might bring one of his teams, but Jam would not give out the team to him, because Jam isn't like that, and that's also his creation. He doesn't give this team out to anybody except for like me and Blender, or Blender and I, whatever. But in any case, like I said, my game plan is get Weavile to about 50%, and then maybe get up rocks for Zard. My Diancie definitely pressures him. He does have the Skarmory to deal with it, but if he does have Zard Y, then my Hidden Power Fire is boosted, and it will be a 2 KO on Skarmory. So, Weavile is an issue, but again, I don't think it'd be Bandit because Jamvad's on his team, and Jamvad wouldn't let somebody use Bandit Weavile. I also don't like Bandit Weavile, but I decided to lead off with Diancie because I can get off the Mega pretty safely versus anything on his team. He leads off with Zard. I'm pretty positive it's Zard Y, and he's actually just not going to give me the opportunity to Mega Evolve for quote-unquote free, like if he stayed in and Mega Evolved and went for the Solar Beam, but he does switch out into a Powdon. I decided not to stay in and protect the next turn just because he's going to go for Earthquake. I don't gain anything from stalling him out of one Earthquake at any given point, and I can go out to my Hippo and get up my own rocks, as he does go for that Earthquake. However, I will be able to go for Stealth Rock right here. I didn't think he'd go directly into his Charizard, especially because my Talonflame is at full, and again, I'm under the assumption it is Zard Y. But he goes out to Latios. I am outside of range of Draco, Life Orb Draco killing me. It does about 81% to my spread. So I decided to go for Slack Off right here as he goes right for the Defog. Now, I don't want to take a Draco and I don't want to risk a crit this turn. I knew he would go for the Defog or Paradise the Defog that turn, just because my, or I'm assuming he would, because Teddeh isn't blind, and he probably acknowledges the fact that my Cofagrigus, if rocks are up, can sweep him. So I switch out into my Ferrothorn, not wanting to take the Draco Meteor, as he does drop a Draco and misses, unfortunately. Had he not missed, I would have stayed in, but I don't want to get hit with an HP Fire, even though I could knock him out with the Gyro Ball, because even though after the Life Orb hit I could knock him out with Gyro Ball, I need my Ferrothorn, which is physically defensive, to be healthy enough to take on Weavile. I just needed to switch in like once or twice to Weavile, that way I can lower it down with the Iron Bars, but he decides to switch out into his Hippowdon, leading to believe that he doesn't have the HP Fires. I brought out the answer right there. I'm going to go for Protect right here. Now I can just stall on Earthquake if he wants to go for Stealth Rock, predicting me to want to switch out, as he does go right for that Earthquake. And what I am going to do is go right out to my Hippowdon because it is at full HP, as he decides to go for a second Earthquake. This one doing a little bit more, but after the next turn of leftovers, I'm still out of range of the Draco. So going to set up my Stealth Rock, as he does go right back out into Latios. And while it might look like I'm outside of range, I actually don't trust Showdown, because look how much I just went up by. I'm at 83%. I still don't want to risk a crit, so I decided to go right out to Ferrothorn. It's a pretty safe play all around, and it forces him to take a Life Orb hit if he does drop a Draco right here, as I am able to bring out Ferrothorn. Now I do have Spikes and the Leech Seed on this set. He actually decides to go hard into Hippowdon, as I go for Gyro Ball in case he does reveal like a surprise HP Fire right there. I wanted to be able to knock him out and get rid of his Defogger, but he goes to Hippo, as we are going to exchange our hazards. And what I can do right here is go right for the Leech Seed, expecting him to probably switch out into his Charizard, because now more than ever, especially with rocks up, Zard is a threat. The Fire Blast from Charizard does 2-hit KO Talonflame. If Stealth Rock up, it dies. So I go for a double Leech Seed right here, expecting him to want to switch out into a Zard. That way, when I go out to my Diancie, which is exactly the play I'm going to go for, he has no reason not to Fire Blast right here, guys. Talonflame dies after Stealth Rock. Hippo dies to 2. And Starmie can't do anything. It's defensive Starmie. He probably knows the team, but Starmie can't do anything to Charizard with Sun Up, and then Cofagrigus dies. So I decided to make the switch hard into my Diancie, as he does almost nuke me with this Fire Blast. Look how much it does. That's a resisted hit. As I was saying, sorry I got interrupted, but as I was saying, Diancie gets nuked upon switching, but with the Leech Seed recovery, I am able to recover just a bit to be able to switch into Stealth Rock, though I do have a spinner, so I will prioritize spinning whenever I can. I decided to throw off a Moonblast right here just in case he tries to pivot out into Slowbro or a Powdon on the Diamond Storm. It would be able to 2-hit KO them with the Spike Up, as Skarmory is going to come out. Now, I don't knock it out with HP Fire at all, even with the boost if it is Spadef, and I know that it's Spadef based on the Moonblast damage, so I am going to take this as an opportunity to go out to my Starmie. Now, I am risking the Pursuit Trap from his Weavile. However, because the threat of Scald is there, I don't know if he'd actually go for Pursuit this early in the game. There is one more turn of Sun, and if he did go for Life or Pursuit right there, and I did Scald, and I got the burn on him, then I'd be able to either switch out after if he didn't go for Double Pursuit, or even weaken him to the point of Cofagrigus being able to sweep him as well. So that was another thing, or another reason why he might not have went for the Pursuit right here, if he did have it, which he actually shows later on he did have it. In a team preview, you would think he had it too. But if he went for Pursuit and I stayed in, I put him in range of Cofagrigus to sweep. So I don't know if he would risk it this early, and I went off that, and I'm able to go out to my Ferrothorn as he does go out for knockoff, and that is the range. That is just the range I needed, especially with that Spike Up. If he switches into Spike one more time, he 100% dies to the +2 Shadow Ball. So I'm going to go for Leech Seed, expecting him to want to switch out. I mean, he's definitely not going to stay in. Even if he has low kick, it might not be able to knock me out of that range. And even if he does knock me out of that range, again, I'm playing off the fact that he knows that Cofagrigus could sweep him. So he decides to fire off a Fire Blast, as with the recovery, you see Talonflame took 60%, but I can easily roost this off. And I decided to be a bit more aggressive here. I could have played this a little bit more safe, or safer, whatever. But I decided to go for Willows because I know that even if he has the Stone Edge, it won't be able to knock me out, especially after I burn him. And unfortunately, he does miss. So that really, really sucks for Teddeh right there. Wouldn't have killed me, but it would have probably forced another... it would have probably forced another a Zard sack if he brought out Zard. So it might have forced me to play differently because I wouldn't be able to roost up on that. Though I could have SD'd up as well, depending on it. But I throw off a Scald right here. I do have Toxic on Starmie for Slowbro, but I don't want him going out to like Skarmory or something, or pivoting, as he is going to go out to Latios. I'm pretty confident it doesn't have the HP Fire at this point, so I'm just going to throw off a Leech Seed. I have no reason not to. I decided to actually Spike here first and then throw off the Leech Seed, because if he defogs, it doesn't matter. I still get up the hazard, and that hazard is what's putting Weavile 100% in range of +2, or at least really close to +2. It's actually 47% min. But that Spike is what's really threatening Weavile with another Life Orb hit. So I'm able to throw off a Leech Seed on the incoming Hippowdon. And at this point, he really can't switch directly into... he could switch directly into Latios, but he can't go out to Weavile, obviously, because the Spike is up, and I do threaten him. So I throw off another Scald, again, being rather safe. I don't know if he'd go Slowbro here, but I am able to get the burn on his Latios, which is great because that is wearing it down. It's not going to be able to switch in much longer. And again, Ferrothorn is just the play for me to make, as he makes a nice double onto Zard. Really nice play on his part. A double on Zard to be able to get off a Fire Blast or a Roost. So my Talonflame is at full, no Stealth Rock are up. He does take this as an opportunity to Roost, so really good play on Teddeh's part to get that opportunity to Roost. I decided to SD up right here because if he didn't go hard into Hippowdon, I actually have a shot to knock it out after the Spike and the burn. So I go for SD. He might have predicted me to double right there, but I'm able to Roost off his Fire Blast. I'm also stalling him out of Fire Blast as well. Like, if he doesn't have any Fire Blast left, Cofagrigus sets up on it. So he brings out a Skarmory, more than likely just to phase me out. I'm just going to burn him with the Will-O-Wisp, threaten him, and that threatens him with the Diancie a lot. Forces me out into my Skarmory, excuse me, into my Ferrothorn. I'm sorry about that. As I have two plays here. I can Leech Seed, or I can go directly into Starmie to prevent any hazard, or even go Diancie if he wanted to go for the Spike play. So I decided to make the all-around decent play. There was no way he would Iron Head there. If anything, he taunt he'd go for Spike if he had it, or he'd double into Charizard. So I made the Diancie switch, as I am going to go right for the safe Diamond Storm. I could have Moonblasted and picked up the 2K out Slowbro, but I'm playing really, really safe at this point. Slowbro is going to come out. Starmie is my go-to switching, because even if he doubles to Weavile, I don't care. I don't care, because Weavile takes a spike that I need, so Clefairy sweeps him. So obviously Starmie being alive is more of a pain for him, but just the damage I got off with the Ferrothorn was overall the best situation for me. So I throw off a Toxic, revealing that I do have the Toxic, as he does bring out his Latios. Again, Ferrothorn is an all-around safe play, because even if he defogs, he's taking the burn damage, he's forced to recover another turn, and I can go for another spike. And I am very, very, very adamant about this spike, because that is what puts him in range to lose to my my Clefairy. So he brings out Hippo, as he is going to go for his Stealth Rock. I decide to hard switch directly into my Starmie as opposed to Power Whipping or Leech Seeding, because I want to keep rocks off the field for my Talonflame, and I'm pretty sure his Charger doesn't have Ancient Power or something like that. He would have revealed it, but able to spin away those rocks, as well as keeping Hippowdon low, and I can go right out to Talonflame. And Hippowdon's at 57%, so after Burn and Spike, he can go down to +2. He does go down to +2 Brave Bird. He makes a really, really nice double out into his Hippo, though. Really nice play on his part, because he acknowledged the fact that if I SD'd up right there, Hippo would go down and never be able to come in on anything on my team. So really good play on his part, but it does give me an opportunity to go out into my own Hippo, and I want these rocks up. I want these rocks up bad. I decide to get up my rocks right here, as he does stay into trade rocks, which wasn't necessarily the best play for my opponent, because not only does it give me another turn of leftovers, but now I have like the freedom to predict his Latios or Charizard. So I am going to go right for Stone Eggs, expecting either Latios or Charizard to want to come out after Stealth Rock, and with that burn, well, after Stealth Rock, it goes down to Stone Edge anyway. So I throw off a Stone Edge, Latios comes out, Latios is gone. That means my Stealth Rock and Spike are here to stay. His Skarmory is not defog, it would have went out. He brings out his Charizard. My Hippo has enough Spadef. Literally, Hippo was here just to make sure Charizard doesn't sweep me and to get up rocks. So I can afford to stay in with my Hippowdon right here, as he is going to go off for Solar Beam. Even if he knocked me out and I missed Stone Edge, well, even if he crit me or I missed Stone Edge, I did have Diancie in the back, and with Stealth Rock being up, Charizard would go down, but Hippo is going to come through, connect to the Stone Edge, and knock out the Charizard, as Slowbro is going to come out. I am going to make the play directly into my Starmie. It's always the play to go for. He could Scald here if he wants to. He can start revealing the Calm Mind. If he's Calm Mind, Slowbro Clefairy beats it 1v1, and Ferrothorn Leech Seeds it as well, unless it gets burnt. So I decided to go for Rapid Spin right here. I could have went for a Scald, but with the sun being up, I guess if I burnt Weavile, I would have been able to knock it out, but with the sun being up, I wouldn't have been able to knock it out, not even at 23%, as weird as that seems. And I am able to Rapid Spin his Stealth Rock, and that Hippowdon is never getting them up. I literally only need Starmie to get rid of the hazards, and there's no way he is ever getting up his hazards with Hippo, because I will always throw out my Diancie to get to keep the rocks away. So he does reveal the low kick, as you saw. It wouldn't have killed me from the 60% I was at earlier, as I am going to go right for the spike. The spike is just to pressure the Slowbro as well as the Hippo, as Slowbro is going to come out. Now, I had two plays I could have made right here, but I didn't want to risk him setting up this early, so I decided to go hard into Clefairy. I could have Leech Seeded or Power Whip. Leech Seed might have worked out in the long run, but I decided to go hard into Clefairy. I'm pretty positive he's Calm Mind Slowbro, and I'm going to throw off a Shadow Ball. As you see, it does 52% after he boosted, so I know that Slack Off is pretty much his only play right there, because the next Shadow Ball might be able to knock him out even after the leftovers damage. So I decided to go right for Nasty Plot, and unless he burns me, even if he burns me, it doesn't matter at this point, because I am able to go for Trick Room, and he has no switch-ins. The burn wouldn't have mattered unless he switched out, but +1 Shadow Ball is enough to knock out the Slowbro. Holy, look how much that Slowbro just dropped, as Skarmory is going to come out. The only thing it could do is phase me, and I'm able to go right for Shadow Ball. It's going to bring it down to the range where Burn does knock it out, and he is going to phase me out into my Talonflame, which doesn't necessarily matter because Skarmory is going to go down, and his last is a burnt Hippowdon. I could SD up here if I want to. I decided to make the safest play, I think, and sorry if you hear my landline in the background. I decided to make just the safest play. Go out to Ferrothorn. Maybe added a few extra turns, but I think Teddeh just concedes defeat. right here, because he decides just to go for Earthquake, not even risking, not even slacking off, which is fine all around, because at this point Burnt Hippowdon cannot beat the remainder of my members. I could even nasty plot up again with Microphagus on this thing because he's burnt. We already know he doesn't have Whirlwind because he did reveal Stone Edge. So Ferrothorn is going to be able to get the kill right there with the power up, and that is going to be good game. So I ended up winning my second game of World Cup. Very patient, I feel. There was a few turns I could have made a few aggressive plays, but the thing about a play like that is, especially in this setting, if I get it wrong, it could cost me a Mon. Definitely pursuing early Uro with Weavile would have helped, but he was in the mindset that if I scalded him and he went for Pursuit, one, I lived it, and two, if I burnt him, Weavile was useless, and three, if I got off the damage, Cofagris at +2 sweeps him, and I'm pretty sure he acknowledged that, so that's why he made that play, and I just made my play just to get on out of there, just in case he didn't go for Pursuit, because I was in the mindset that he wouldn't let me potentially burn him or get his Weavile low to the point where Cofagris sweeps him. But hope you guys all enjoy. Feel free, of course, to leave a like, subscribe, do your thing, and I will see you guys next time. Cue the outro.